Buongiorno, welcome to my channel. My name is Noura and today I am going to do a full review of the new release from Memo Paris, and this is Sicilian Leather. I received this sample like 5 days ago, so I really had the chance to play with it and tell you all about longevity, sillage, when to wear it and where and for whom it will be suitable. So if this is interesting for you, then please keep on watching. So first of all, I have to admit I'm a big fan of Memo Paris. This niche brand I fell in love with. It's my favorite niche brand at the moment. I discovered it like 3 months ago. I purchased some samples and I immediately fell in love. They have really a beautiful selection of fragrances. They are very famous on leather fragrances and also very heavy, opulent floral fragrances in general. All the bottles are stunning. They all have like a metal part where they have like a really piece of art. For Sicilian leather, it's the same like in the sample. So this is the design, absolutely beautiful, and as the name suggests, this fragrance is all about Sicily. As everybody knows, Sicily is a famous island in the south of Italy. It's very famous with its production of citruses, so lemon, especially lemon, and it's an island full of culture, history, diversity. I mean, Italy is full of beautiful places, but Sicily is definitely one of the best. Reading the description of this fragrance on their website and here on the sample, they are trying to capture like the spirit of Sicily. So they are trying to capture the citrusy vibe, so the vegetation, the sea, and also the fire. And the fire comes from Mount Etna, which is a volcano. And so this is the inspiration behind this fragrance. As again the name suggests, it's a leather fragrances, and Memo is very famous of leather fragrances. They have quite a selection, and this is definitely one of their best fragrances when it comes to leather. A beautifully done fragrance. When you first spray it, I have it here on my hat in the dry down, and I sprayed it fresh on the sample. So when you first spray it, you will get a burst of citruses. So it's really beautiful opening. I love the opening. It's very heavy on citruses. You get the leather right from the start. So it's not like ocean leather, if you are familiar of low ocean leather from the and Eau de Memo from their range. The leather here is really predominant. It's really in your face. So as I said, the opening is quite citrusy, and I love the opening because I love citruses in general. So I really love the opening. It's really a beautiful concoction. So you have here orange bitter oil, bergamot oil, lime oil, ciderette oil. And the ciderette oil, I didn't know what it is, I have to admit, and I had to Google it. And from what I understand, ciderette oil is like a cedro, with like an Italian cedro, and this is like a citrus fruit which is very similar to lemon, and it grows in Sicily. So it's very appropriate to use this oil here in the fragrance. It has also a little bit of spices, so you have coriander seed oil and cardamom oil. And I have to admit, you don't get it so much. Maybe the cardamom, yeah, just a little bit, but mostly this is a citrusy leather fragrance in the opening and a very heavy woody leather with a touch of balsamic note in the dry down. So you get also fir balsam, and you get violet leaf accord, cedarwood atlas oil, and here cedarwood atlas oil is which means that they got this from the cedar tree in Atlas Mountains in Morocco. You have white leather, guaiac wood oil, patchouli oil, and akigel wood. So akigel wood is again a note that I had to Google. And let me tell you, when in the dry down, when I first tried this fragrance, I got a little bit in the dry down like an oudi note, something oudi in the fragrance. And when I checked the notes, there was no oud. But then when I googled akigel wood, if I'm not mistaken, it's a molecule that gives like a patchouli with oud nuances. So maybe this is why I get a little bit of oud, but it's not a stinky oud, just so you know. So Sicilian Leather is definitely a fragrance for someone who loves leather. This is not a fragrance for the faint of heart at all. This is a fragrance that makes a statement. It says, I'm here, look at me. So the projection is amazing, at least on my skin, an amazing projection, amazing longevity. It stayed on my skin for almost the whole day. It didn't go anywhere. So this is definitely one of the best fragrances from this house in terms of longevity and sillage. Again, leather is quite predominant. It's not in the background. It's really there from the beginning till the end. So this is a fragrance for really leather lovers. It's also ultra masculine. This is not unisex for me at all, like at all. Also, when I applied this for the first time, I felt like, I smelled this fragrance before. Not like this fragrance, but something very similar. It's very Middle Eastern, like I felt like I smelled this a lot of times in Egypt. And when my husband smelled it, he said actually the same. So this kind of fragrances is really appreciated, at least in Egypt. So I think this will be a hit like in the Middle East. It will be really appreciated by the Middle Eastern customers. It's very loud, very heavy, and this is why I wouldn't recommend this one for hot climate. So summer, spring, no. It's mostly winter, autumn kind of a fragrance. Maybe in springtime, like in the evening, but in summer, I wouldn't appreciate smelling this during the summer. Another thing about this fragrance is that it's so loud and strong that it's not for everybody, in the sense you will have to be careful while wearing this fragrance that it doesn't overpower you, in the sense of the fragrance is wearing you, not you are wearing the fragrance, if you know what I mean. But this is just my personal opinion. And I would imagine this fragrance on a very strong Middle Eastern man, casual but yet very put together. This is just how I would imagine the person who is wearing this fragrance. Again, a very beautiful and solid release from Memo Paris. That said, this is not my absolute favorite from the CUIRS Nomade from Memo Paris, which is like the leather range. My absolute favorite is African leather, hands down. But I can see how this fragrance will be a hit for leather lovers out there. So yes, I would definitely recommend this fragrance for leather lovers, for really leather lovers, for a man who wants to make a statement, definitely. And I would also recommend it for the amazing longevity and sillage. I know they came out with another fragrance called Retba, which is I think a floral, so more a target to women. I didn't get the sample because it was not available, but I do have almost all the fragrances from the line, and I will do a dedicated video on all Memo Paris fragrances very soon, so stay tuned and make sure to subscribe. So that was everything. I hope you liked this video and I hope it was helpful, and if it did, please give it a thumb up. This will really help me on YouTube. And stay tuned for a dedicated video on Memo Paris. So definitely subscribe and hit the notification bell so you will get notified when I upload a new video. See you next time. Ciao.